Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we're here back with our third F1 22 Grand Prix challenge. Yes, after a break week last weekend, we return of course here in Le Castellet, qualifying later on this afternoon. But yeah, today we're going to be jumping in with one of our last question mark challenges. Of course, there was really only two drivers I could do this as this weekend. It was either going to be homeboy Esteban Ocon or homeboy Pierre Gasly, and I kind of ummed and ahed about it, but in the end I decided to go with Esteban Ocon, of course, French driver with a French team at the French Grand Prix. Let's sort of see what we can try and do with the Esteban Ocon this weekend. But of course, if you are new around here as well, make sure you do get yourself subscribed for daily F1 22 content. But let's have a look then at the grid. Max Verstappen lines up on pole there, 2/10 clear of Charles Leclerc, who joins him on the front row. Of course, the two championship protagonists, P1 and P2 there. Sergio Perez in P3, fractions away, with Carlos Sainz in 4th there. Mercedes lock out row 3, as you would expect. Our teammate in 7th ahead of Valtteri Bottas there, with Tsunoda and Pierre Gasly rounding out the top 10. Lando Norris in 11th, just ahead of Mick Schumacher and Kevin Magnussen, with Daniel Ricciardo slotted into P14. Alex Albon 15th ahead of Zhou Guanyu. Lance Stroll, Sebastian Vettel make up row 9, and then Nicholas Latifi and myself, Esteban Ocon, lining up at the rear of the field. But yeah, let's head down trackside then for the French Grand Prix, but first, a quick word from our sponsor. Before we jump into that though, I just wanted to let you know of a brilliant competition going on hosted by Imperium Experiences. Have you ever wanted to attend the Italian Grand Prix? Yes, the home of Ferrari, the Temple of Speed, and of course the mighty Tifosi. Imperium Experiences are offering you the chance to win 2 tickets for the weekend and a 3-night stay at a 4-star hotel. All you have to do is enter their competition on their site, linked down below in the description or my bio, and you could be off out to Monza. The competition is limited to just 900 entries, however, and closes on the 6th of August, so make sure if you want to get involved to do it as soon as possible. Currently, they're also offering an extra promotion where if you buy 2 entries, you get a 3rd completely free, increasing your chances to win at an incredibly cheap price. They even have a handy guide on their site on how to enter, so I would definitely recommend checking it out, and a massive thank you to them for sponsoring this video. Right, well here we are then on the grid, ready for the French Grand Prix here in Le Castellet, and of course racing as Esteban Ocon this weekend. Home race for him, of course home race for Alpine as well, so it only made sense that, it was either going to be Ocon or Gasly, and I thought Ocon this weekend would be fun to drive as. Genuinely quite interested to see just what the Alpine is like as well on F1 22. But of course, as always, going to try and go for the alternate strat in these sorts of races. A little bit of extra fuel as well, you spend a lot of time on the throttle here at the Castellet, but everyone around us starting on the softs, so not likely that we're going to get a good start here, but fingers crossed then early on we can try and pick up some places. The opposite strategy, the alternate strat, can actually be very, very strong here at the Castellet. Right, we're round in the final corner then, trying to line ourselves up nicely on the grid. You can see Sebastian Vettel trying to do some burnouts just in front of me. There we go, nailed that on the start line there. But from the back then, let me know down in the comments below where you think we can finish in this race today. But waiting on those 5 red lights here in Le Castellet, and it is going to be 5 red lights, lights out, and away we go. Pretty clean getaway there, of course nowhere near everyone else. As we head down towards turn 1, as Nicholas Latifi trying to make a move work on the Aston Martins. They're 3 wide up the road as his teammate Alex Albon trying to make some magic happen there, as the up and under immediately on the Latifi as well. Sebastian Vettel clearly didn't want me to try and make the move work as we head down the hill. Of course, this was where Ocon and Gasly came together a couple of years ago, but we're going to try and get around the outside of the Aston Martin. So, Alpine, probably the best midfield car at the moment, and Fernando Alonso proved that once again in qualifying, as it looks like Charles Leclerc has got the jump off the start here as we head out onto the Mistral Straight for the first time. They are up into P16 though, ahead of Zhou Guanyu as well, so we haven't really picked off a good handful of cars off the start here. But here comes the Alfa Romeo, doesn't want to sit behind me for all too long, as we'll give him the room on the inside there, but make sure we sweep in for the racing line through the second part of the chicane. But yeah, decent little start then here in the Castellet. We're going to leave those two to fight just behind us, but it's Ferrari Red Bull at the front of the field there, so I think Sainz therefore must have snuck his way up into P3, but we got Daniel Ricciardo just in front of me as we head through the final couple of corners. And yeah, like I said, I'm pretty certain Alonso still the man right behind the Mercs there. If we can be best of the rest this weekend, that's probably quite a dub for Alpine, of course. All over the back of Daniel Ricciardo. Those we head out onto the back straight, of course. Yeah, Alpine and McLaren head into this weekend pretty much neck and neck on points there. So if we could try and get ahead of the Australian, that would be rather good. It's like you can't suddenly move when we've already pulled alongside you, Danny Rick. They're not too sure what that was all about. But on the inside this time round, as we head into the Mistral straight chicane, Ricciardo's going to try and park the bus. Going to try and do the old up and under on him. Try and give ourselves the inside for the next sweeping right-hander of turn 10 there, and wheel to wheel we go with Daniel Ricciardo as we head through there, just sweeping past him. Mark liking that one, and I'm at a P15 now. Ricciardo thinks about having a look back up the inside, but can't quite make it happen. Next up, Alex Albon. Oh, Albon struggling a little bit as we head down through the end of Sector 1 there. We'll send it on the inside of the Thai driver and therefore promote ourselves into P14. A little bit of a wiggle as we try and put the power down out to the Mistral straight once more. As yeah, definitely looks like Alonso able to hang on with the big six early here. Both Alpha Tauras still in 8th and 10th place there, causing a bit of a train with Valtteri Bottas in the middle, as that was definitely a lot of curb through there. But yeah, weird to see Haas struggling a bit more around this track. You kind of think this would be right in their backyard, but yeah, down to P14 of the race we go. Slowly picking cars off, but we are already on lap 3, remember. Much better run out of the first chicane there on Kevin Magnussen, as yeah, K-Mag's certainly not one to give you an inch when he doesn't have to. And in that situation, yeah, he probably didn't need to, as we were just trying to keep the nose on the outside of the Haas car. But yeah, so many different lines you can take out of this corner. I like to hold it a bit tighter, and that just really gives you a nice run through the second part there. So we're going to try and stick close now to Kevin Magnussen as we head back up the Mistral straight. Still trying to conserve battery a little bit early on here, but we're going to show one way, dart to the other, late on the brakes around the outside of Kevin Magnussen there, and played him like a fiddle in this Grand Prix there. Up now into P13 of the race, as it looks like I think Bottas starting to get a bit frustrated behind, I'm guessing, our fellow Frenchman Pierre Gasly. But yeah, now into unlucky P13. Fingers crossed we can move out of this position and get past Schumi ASAP. Speaking of which, though, all over the back of Mick Schumacher, maybe around the outside of Mick Schumacher. Look how much grip this Alpine has got there around the outside of Mick, and then we've got the inside for the final corner. I have to just squeeze him out slowly out of the final turn, but now up into P12 then, even I should say, of the Grand Prix. So we really didn't spend long at all in P13. All over the back then of the second McLaren we need to try and pick off in this Grand Prix, as I wonder if they're just starting to struggle a little bit on their soft compound tyres. Just see the pace we've still got there. Alonso actually into the pits a little bit earlier. Whoa! What I was expecting there was Lando Norris. I had no idea he wanted to try and pit at the end of lap 5 there. I honestly thought the AI would probably go sort of lap 6, lap 7 before they'd box, but Fernando Alonso into the pit lane. We're going to be up now into P5. Lucky not to get any front wing damage. Yeah, safe to say it is quite surprising to see how much those soft tyres have fallen apart by a lot of the AI, but then again we're going to be on, you know, sort of lower fuel, everything like that. So that is definitely not an illegal pit entry from Pierre Gasly there. I think we also got a warning for running wide out of track limits there, so not too sure how that one works in F122, but of course a much earlier pit box than we're used to. Still going to get the purple on entry though, and we are going to lose one spot to the Haas. Come on, get on with it. We could have definitely got out a lot sooner then. All over the back though of Pierre Gasly. So yeah, we certainly haven't lost that much in that situation. Here comes Russell, Alonso and Carlos Sainz there. So one Spaniard now our teammate ahead of the other. They've got to be super careful on pit exit here, as there goes Yuki Tsunoda. And despite then the weird incident with Lando Norris on pit entry, we have made the move work. We're up now into P10 of the Grand Prix, and now we're going to have fresher, quicker rubber than most of the cars around me right the way through to the checkered flag. Let's just keep our head down. You know, that gaggle of cars in front, not too far away. It's Orlando. Thought about it there, filled up my mirrors, kind of threw me off a little bit. It's still on the cold tyres. Trying to make sure we get a run now on Pierre Gasly here. Will he have the DRS on his teammate? No, he won't. So Pierre Gasly, fellow Frenchman, going to be a bit of a sitting duck as we head down the back straight with there. We're going to get to the inside of Pierre, but he did give me a big old squeeze, but we absolutely send it. Not really taking no for an answer in that situation, and now I'm at a P9. Trying to save as much battery as we possibly can at the moment. We're still trying to pick off moves there as we go one way then the other on Yuki Tsunoda. Oh, I thought Yuki was way too late on the brakes there, but he got it slowed down. Completely compromised his run though, and you kind of get pinched on the apex through turn 2 there, just through the undulation. So we are now going to pick up the spot over the second AlphaTauri there. I'm at a P8 for El Plan. Less than 2 seconds up the road here. Could we get past our teammate and maybe even rustle the feathers of the Mercs? Oh, Alonso swinging at the back end there as he tries to put the power down out into the Mistral straight. 5 laps to go. We have got to be a little bit careful still with the tyres. As there we go, both Mercs up the road going side by side there. Will Hamilton pick up the place over his teammate George Russell? For some reason, Russell has been put on a set of the hard compound tyres to see him through to the checkered flag there, so not too sure what sort of strategy blunder that was down at Mercedes, but all over the gearbox then of our teammate Fernando Alonso here. We've got both Mercs battling, both Alpines and both AlphaTauris all in a row, all battling it out between themselves. Can we get up the inside of Fernando Alonso? Yes, we can there. A pretty simple move, it must be said, in the end, and you can just see how much grip these soft tyres are providing us, how much confidence they're giving us as well. At the moment, I mean, I'm looking at Carlos Sainz up in P4, thinking that Ferrari might be catchable by the end. It's just look at the speed we can carry through some of the corners here, especially over George Russell on harder tyres. I mean, this is such a big advantage over the Mercedes, but he's still definitely got a much quicker car than me, or you'd think so anyway. I mean, it's certainly been one of the strengths of the Alpine this year, is its top-end speed there. As you can see, not even having to use the battery, closing in on George Russell to the outside of the Mercedes. And look at that, just pinched himself on the apex, didn't have the pace or the performance on those tyres. And that is going to be, again, easy pickings here. 3 laps to go of the French Grand Prix. Could we still walk away with P5 or maybe even P4? Come on then, Hamilton. Again, this time round, it's a Merc without even any DRS. We're using ERS and of course, got the slipstream once more. So that one's going to be an even easier move than the last one, as I wanted to try and slingshot our way within 1 second of Carlos Sainz, as Hamilton, not even giving up, in towards the braking zone. Wanted desperately to try and keep the nose there, but just couldn't quite do it. 2.5 laps to go, and now the gap to Sainz less than a second. Purple through the middle sector as well. We've already gone purple through the final sector. We are absolutely flying here at Le Castellet. Ah, there we go. New fast lap of the day. It's now all over the back of Carlos Sainz. We are, yeah, absolutely in the groove at the moment. I mean, of course, we got that podium back within the last question mark challenge at the British Grand Prix a few weekends ago. And then I'm pretty certain, yeah, we matched that as well, didn't we? At the Red Bull Ring just 1 week later. It might have been P4, actually, at the Red Bull Ring there. I know we had a brilliant battle racing as Max Verstappen against our teammate Sergio Perez late on in the afternoon. But can we try and get one last move done then? We've got one more chance at it next time around if we need it. But to the outside of Carlos Sainz. Look at the speed. Once again there, clean around the outside of the Ferrari. Carlos, though, not going to back out of that one so easily. But we will claim P4 here in Le Castellet. Now we've just got the difficult task of holding on to it with just over a lap to go.
7.3 seconds.
Yeah, I think we're going to need a miracle if we want a podium here, but, you know, if Max and Charles maybe came together, that opportunity could open up for us. Well, heading in towards the final few corners then here from Le Castellet, I think we might just have done enough ahead of Carlos Sainz there, but the Ferrari man still trying to hang near as we head through the final corners of this Grand Prix there. And what a race it's been from the back of the grid. Homeboy Esteban Ocon racing in the home team's car as well. And as we head through the final couple of turns, Charles Leclerc with a late race move is going to get the jump on Max Verstappen and close in on his big championship lead there. But rounding through the final couple of turns we go. Max Verstappen is going to come through for P2. Sergio Perez in P3, but we'll use the last bit of battery up to the line. It's P4 from the back of the grid.
And that's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
battles around Paul Ricard today, and they've taken a fantastic win. So Natalie, what do you think helped them deliver this result?
I really feel the track layout, combined with the track temperatures we saw today, suited their car. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature, and the driver did a great job managing that as well. It just looks so comfortable out there. It's like anything, it always looks so easy when it all just clicks.
Looking at the podium, you can see that red suit familiar to fans across the globe. A world-class win for a world-class team. Ferrari, do it again. Let's focus on the driver of the day. Natalie Pinkham, come on, who do you pick?
Difficult call, but I'd like to say Esteban Ocon. He's just so gifted at getting the most out of his tyres, and he showed that today.
Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Well, there we are then, guys. The end of the French Grand Prix, and Charles Leclerc, by just half a second there, able to walk away with the race victory. Red Bull of Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez rounding out the podium, and from last to fourth in the end, that's certainly a race result we can be very, very happy with there. Just held on ahead of Carlos Sainz at the checkered flag there. Alonso came through for P7 with Russell, Norris and Gasly rounding out the top 10 there. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed as well, and we'll be back very, very soon with more F1 22 content. This channel is proudly sponsored by Bybit, the official crypto partner of Red Bull's Formula 1 team. I've been using their platform for my personal crypto savings over the last few months, and when they got in touch to support the channel, I was super, super excited. Currently, they're offering you guys a special new promo for the first 100 of you to deposit $10 or more onto the platform. You'll get another $10 free. Also, 5 lucky winners will get their initial deposit doubled up to $1,000. That means if you deposited $1,000 onto the platform using my codes below, you could be within a chance to get another $1,000 completely free. We've seen the landscape around crypto drastically change over the last couple of years, and I genuinely believe it holds an important place in our future. However, please be careful as always when trading, as you are liable to lose money. But if you're interested and you're 18 or older, click the link down below to get started and see why Red Bull and myself, as well as thousands of others, trust Bybit as their crypto. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members, so a massive thank you to all of the names you see on your screens currently for helping support the channel. You can join them by clicking the join button down below, and yeah, thank you once again to everyone that continues all the insane support on my work.